I finally had a good reason to buy a gaming PC, and that is to learn CUDA programming. If you guys are not familiar with CUDA programming, this is kind of what everybody really talks about these days, because if you're in the AI land or even the gaming land, or you're in the machine learning land, or you're in the Bitcoin mining land, you kind of need to be working with CUDA. So I wanted to talk a little bit about CUDA, and specifically in this video, I want to go over NVCC, which is Nvidia's CUDA compiler. If you're wondering why NVCC is so useful, I think that NVCC is actually what helped Nvidia create its moat and made it the #1 company in the entire world. And the reason is that it's just so easy to write code that runs on the GPU with a CUDA compiler. And just for reference, like something like Chrome, the web browser, has like 70% market share, whereas Nvidia has like 90% of market share on the people who write stuff on GPUs. And so that just goes to show the scale of how useful NVCC is, because that's the compiler that compiles the CUDA code. And in fact, another story for you is that AMD, a $500 billion company, is really trying to take a stab at this CUDA moat that Nvidia has. And what they're working on is called ROCm. It has its own style of doing things. I mean, I think not all of these are going to be the same, but because so much of AI is written in CUDA, they're writing a program that directly converts CUDA code into AMD code. So anyway, I just think that's interesting. CUDA is insane, and NVCC is what makes CUDA work. And so that's why I want to make the first video on CUDA about NVCC. CUDA is a language that looks awfully a lot like C and C++, but what you'll notice immediately is that writing CUDA is that there's a couple of interesting syntax here, like this one right here, which is the triple C out and the triple C in. This is not standard C or C++ syntax. It's actually syntax that only works in CUDA. Basically, you can think of CUDA as like a language that is extended on top of C and C++. It allows you to program on the CPU and the GPU kind of intermittently. This code, int main, this is just standard C++ code, and I've got a C out here printing hello world from the CPU. And here I've got this interesting function called CUDA hello that is defined right here, and it's got this weird terminology called global, but then you can print F, and in this case you'll be printing from a GPU thread. All of this is handled by CUDA. So let's take a look at how you would run something like this. In order to compile the CUDA file, you'll kind of write code that looks what you might do to compile C or C++ code, and in fact that's probably where Nvidia got NVCC from. In some ways it's probably a reference to GCC, the GNU compiler collection. You write NVCC like this is the compiler, you can specify the architecture that you're running on, you pass in the main.CUDA file, and you can create a CUDA test executable. So let's run that real quick, and now we can just run the CUDA test executable. And there you go, you've got code running on both the CPU and the GPU. And therein lies Nvidia's moat. They kind of started this before everyone else. This was all the way back in 2007, before the iPhone came out. You know, they were like, hey, why don't we allow people who have Nvidia graphics cards specifically, why don't we allow them to program stuff more than just games? Because I think this was the early innings of when people try to like push the fixed pipeline frameworks to do stuff other than games, like for example, fluid dynamics, whether it's the OpenGL pipeline or the DirectX pipeline, like using that to do fluid simulation. It's just a lot of extra work for unnecessary reasons. So they invented this CUDA language, and of course people kind of jumped on it because it was the easiest thing. It only works with Nvidia chips. Like, of course there's going to be stuff like Google's TPUs that are coming out recently. Of course AMD is always going to be in the thick of it, but let's be real guys, like they've got a long way to go. And Nvidia was just ahead of the game. The other thing, by the way, with TPUs is that you can't actually use them because you can't get a TPU on your computer. Basically, other companies are trying to get there, but Nvidia's moat is just too strong. And just by running a simple command, I could write code on this CPU and the GPU, and it looks awfully similar to C and C++. CUDA is kind of that moat, as well as, of course, the CUDA compiler. So now let's take a look at a high-level introduction to how the CUDA compiler works. And for this, I'm going to have to go into Nvidia's CUDA programming website because I think this drawing kind of helps a lot in explaining how it works. Suppose you've got a CUDA file that has the extension .cu. This gets passed into NVCC, which is the CUDA compiler. It essentially figures out which code is only on the CPU. In this case, they call the CPU the host, and they call the GPU, I believe, the device or something like this. Basically, in this case, notice how there's a keyword called global, and that essentially tells the NVCC that, hey, look, this is going to be special code that is going to have to be processed in a separate way. And the way it processes this code is by converting this into PTX. PTX is parallel thread execution, which is custom assembly written for the GPU. We know how in C++ you've got code and it turns into assembly. Well, on the GPU land, the NVCC finds code that's supposed to run on the GPU and it converts it into PTX, which is a assembly format. And if you're curious at how PTX looks, I've compiled the main.CUDA file into the PTX just so you have an idea, and it's got that same feel that you would see if you were, say, reading x86 assembly. And what happens is that this assembly code gets optimized into CUBIN, which is a CUDA binary format. And this binary format gets, basically both of these get turned into this fat binary, and this fat binary object gets linked back into the CPU code. So this diagram is not as descriptive because it doesn't explain how this PTX and this CUBIN get linked into the C++ code. So let's take a look at a more advanced diagram. Here's a more advanced diagram that explains how it works, and essentially the CUDA compiler takes the C++ code, splits it up. If it's supposed to be on the GPU, it's going to go through that PTX compilation phase, and then it's going to turn itself into a fat binary. And basically, after doing this process to get the GPU style of code into this fat binary, it gets put back into a CPP file that the generic CPP compiler on your computer can just run through. It's funny because initially I was trying to run NVCC on my Windows computer. I believe I had G++ installed, but it turns out that NVCC only works with Microsoft's Visual Studio Code C++. It doesn't work with G++, at least on Windows. So I had to actually go ahead and install Microsoft's C++ compiler so that CUDA could work properly. So this main.CUDA file splits up this code, and this code ends up becoming into this main.ptx, which is essentially assembly for GPU code. And then this PTX code gets converted into a binary, which then eventually comes back into the full C++ code with both of these involved, I believe. So you could see it here that like the fat bin data is just like, binary data. And so that's the high level overview of NVCC. That's all I want to talk about in this video. Not too much in the specifics of CUDA programming. We'll get there, but right now I just want to talk about NVCC. If you've made it this far, hit the like button and consider subscribing for more random C++, CUDA, GPU programming style videos. And if you want to sponsor the channel, just send me an email. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.